And we are back. I remember to unmute myself this time. Haha.
Nice.
Hope you enjoyed those clips. We were just about able to squeeze out every 5 minutes of that. So, yeah. Very nicely done. I actually didn't ask who won that last game.
So currently one of these players is up 2-0.
Ooh.
You can imagine which one. I do also want to apologize. I myself am a little bit upset because there was enough time to play 2 duct tapes. And we were in the middle of the ice and chrome, the FBI
clip.
We were in the middle of Blizzard busting in and stealing steel mold, and god, I love that. I love that so much.
That was when we realized that we made the right choice of hiring Vortex Slam.
It's true. Fun fact, Kura was very iffy on them. She was like, yo, there's a lot of non-StarCraft here, and I'm like, no, let it happen. I'm like, it's amazing.
It really is. But at the very least, we have what will potentially be the last game of this best of 5 semifinals, and my ping just jumped up to 700.
Oh boy.
I am not sure what that's about, but hopefully that subsides to 900. In the top right corner map, starting all the way in the top right hand corner, the Red Protoss player coming down from the land of South Korea. He is gonna be representing Afrika Freaks. He is Trap. It's subsiding. Ooh.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Chinese Protoss player. He is blue, representing Team Good Game Gaming, GGG. It is Cyan.
And real quick, because I noticed it, shout out to everyone who made Intro Española. Darking literally told me to remember what term to use for 22. And I kind of don't.
You got it, mate. You got it. What is it? What's 2?
Dos. Deces.
What's 10?
Decima.
With the put it together.
Dos deci.
Close enough. 2 10s, why not? Oh boy. But yes, we will be getting into that Spanish intro. We will save it for the grand finals. Shout out to everyone who made it happen, to Nodokasa, to Primal, Malbertom. I did see there were a lot of people who were enjoying the Spanish intro, so we will get into another one soon, quite shortly.
Oh boy. But before that, we do have a PvP on our hands before we get to another PvP, and I'm honestly still kind of feeling the Cyan comeback over here. It's not looking too good for him, and I mean, the one game I saw on Jagannatha, it definitely looked like Trap was in control for the most part, but again, if you could take out Nightmare in a PvP, I feel like you can at least take a map out of Trap in the same matchup.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Oh boy, but Nightmare, he is struggling right now. Of course, this is a best of 5. This is to determine who is able to meet Stats in the grand finals. And the problem is that Stats right now, I'm sure he's tuning into either Inu or Maddox. He's watching both of these players right now, and he has plenty of time to prepare for his opponents for the PvP to come. And Cyan, he's already at a bit of a disadvantage. He has to win 3 games in a row if he wants to move on to those finals, and it all starts here. It all starts in game number 3.
Yeah, and hopefully Sats is watching and not watching Pug dancing to Five Nights at Freddy's music.
Yeah, hopefully he's not, being distracted by YouTube. God damn it, Mio. God.
Actually, no, he's still in the chat. I just felt the need to Funara him.
Yeah, he better be in the chat. He better be. God damn it. I mean, Stats isn't quite a cat, so hopefully he isn't being too distracted. We do see a bit of a change in builds here. Both players are going for their Stalkers, but of course, the difference being is that Trap is working on his Forge, working on +1.
Yeah, meanwhile, Cyan opting instead to go for an earlier robotics facility. It is honestly a pretty interesting dynamic that we get here. It means that Cyan is gonna want to harass a lot more, so we'll see him move out with War Prism and try to get something done, but Trap is gonna hit a lot harder when he does hit.
Exactly. So Trap is going to be committing a lot more to his Stalkers. This tells me that Cyan has the opportunity to kind of diversify his army a little bit and work on his Immortals, which obviously, I mean, they do well against Stalkers. But, you know, against +1 Stalkers, like, it can be a little, there can be a little bit of a back and forth there between the two players. We do see Trap is even the first player to expand and take his third. Cyan has been on top of his scouting with his hallucination, so he's aware. He has not gotten a third of his own yet.
Yeah, I always have to think back to that old mantra. The player who first expands is the player who first concedes.
Yeah, I feel like
that's you can make a special exception for Trap, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like that's normally the case when it comes to the natural. You know, for in PvP, but they both opened up pretty economical with their walls on the low ground instead of on the high ground ramp in the main. So they both wanted to at least get up to 2 bases. Right now, Cyan is getting his third. It is a little bit late, but he is getting ready to blink into the main.
Oh, he's getting real close. The observer's here, and there's nothing in the main base.
Get in, puppy! Ah!
He is in. But what can you really get done aside from this? I mean, he takes out a pylon, 2 pylons actually.
Huh?
Okay. Trap is getting pretty close to getting supply capped. I say that as another pylon finishes up. So. Yeah, being very supply efficient, Trap is.
Yeah, I mean, so Cyan, he gets some damage done, right? For free, basically. Like, he blinked in, he didn't lose anything. Just barely keeps his observer alive. So nicely done by Cyan. It wasn't necessarily any meaningful damage, but it was damage. And he is continuing to warp in across the map. He is looking to be as aggressive as possible. Trap does confirm that the army is there with his Luke.
And he is looking to defend, but the force field still looking fantastic for Cyan. Trap in a little bit of trouble right now, but he very much has the upgrade advantage. He is going to have +2, I think a little bit quicker than Cyan will be able to get +1 even.
That he will. Cyan, he's trying to push up a ramp, which is never a good thing, but he does have the Stalker advantage, it seems like. But as time goes on, like Trap, he already has +1. He's working on +2.
He absolutely is. And he has a defensive advantage. He can continue warping more and more Stalkers over here. Sure, so can Cyan with his Warp Prism. But Trap also has a couple of shield batteries he can always fall back to. Well, not in that third base anymore. But he will take out the Warp Prism just as the most key reinforcing Stalkers are about to come in. And just like that, I feel like the chances have just slipped through Cyan's fingers. Let's see if Trap takes it all the way home.
Exactly. Trap, he defended beautifully there. He did lose a couple of workers, but again, he was ahead in terms of the timing of his third base, so he could afford to lose some of those workers. More importantly, like, he doesn't have to push out now. Just wait for +2, mate. That's all you gotta do. Just hit that +2 timing, wait for your War Prism, and just go across the map. And Cyan, he's gonna struggle to hold, so he has to do whatever he can to keep Trap at home.
Which, I mean, his options are fairly limited at the moment.
Exactly.
He moves out with Stalkers, is the only thing he can really do.
Yeah. To be fair, he can always recall home, you know, so he can commit to going across the map. He doesn't have a War Prism, so he can't reinforce across the map, which is a little bit scary. But to be fair, like, he needs to do whatever he can to just pump out army. He needs Immortals. He needs everything to be able to hold on.
And even then, it might not be enough, especially if Trap decides to give Cyan a taste of his own medicine. No, he has too many zealots. He has to blink into the main, but he can blink into the army and chip away at a couple of Stalkers already. Nowhere near enough zealots here for Cyan to act as a buffer, and they just evaporate to the Archons. This is Trap showing that he is still at the top of the game.
Exactly, the Immortals immediately get focused down. We see Trap just pushing straight into the natural base, and Cyan, he's just crumbling right now. We do see the aggressive blink forward. The shield battery does go down.
And speaking of going down, I think Cyan is going to go down to Trap.
Yeah, exactly. Cyan, he's doing the best he can. He's microing as best he can with the Stalkers that he does have available to him. Thankfully, his Cybercore is still alive, so he can continue to warp in. He does use his overcharge, but immediately the shield battery gets targeted by Trap. Oh boy, and Trap, he's just pushing on forward.
Just blinking on top of everything. Doesn't even care about the shield batteries. He has so much damage on him. GG, Trap, in a clean sweep, is now going to go to grand finals to play another PvP.
GG, well played. As you said, Trap does move on to the finals. Unfortunately, we weren't able to catch every single game in that series, but I mean, from what we could see from the end of game 2 and even game 3, it seemed pretty clear, pretty clean cuts. Trap, nicely done. He does move on to the finals for another PvP.